Thinking about selling your home in Manhattan? The truth is, even those small mistakes can cost you thousands, or even worse, leave your home sitting on the market for way too long. Hey there, my name is Kyle Powers and I'm with Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. And today I'm going to cover the 6 key things to help you with a successful home sale. And just for argument's sake, I want to hear if you guys have ever sold a home. Put in the comments what your biggest challenge was, because I'd love to cover those comments for us later on in another video. Make sure you stay around to the end, because the last one is probably the most important one in my opinion. The first thing we're going to cover is making a good first impression, okay? I always look at things, whenever I list a house and whenever I talk to clients about selling a house, I always look at things in a buyer's eyes. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, why would you do that? You're listing my home. Well, because who's going to be there, right? Your buyers are going to be the people that are going to be walking through that home. So if you show up and put yourself in there, right? If you show up and you say, you know, you've got trash in the front yard, you've got weeds, the yard's overgrown, all that stuff. Everyone talks about curb appeal, but that's the first one, right? If you see all of that stuff, you've got a sour taste in your mouth for the house itself. Then when you walk in, even if it's pristine and perfect and everything that way, but your outside is, they're already in that bad mindset when it comes to that, right? So then the next thing is making that good impression is making sure you have a clean house, making sure it's picked up, making sure you have that. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, I've got kids, I can't do that. Yes, you can. I've sold a house with a 2-year-old, a very pregnant wife at the time, actually. Granted, my kids are a little bit older now, so I don't have to worry about that. However, you need to go through and pick up your house. Minimize the toys, minimize all that kind of stuff. Same with dog food bowls and dog stuff, things like that. Pick up the house, get it ready to go, get those stuff outside, because that's going to be crazy important as well. Those are probably one of my biggest ones, is making that first impression is massive. Okay, you could go that. I've had to take people back to a house 2 or 3 times because their first impression was just gross. When I came back to them, I was like, listen, I think this is a house for you. We just have to look past all of those things. So making that first impression in photos, in videos, and in person whenever a buyer comes through, that's my first one I want to talk to you about, is making that first impression. Next thing on the list is going to market your home effectively. And you're going to sit here and say, well, Kyle, I'm not supposed to do that. That's why I hired you. That's why I hired a real estate agent, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I agree with you 1000%, right? So talk to your agent. Hopefully it's me. Talk to your agent though, and understand, like, how are you going to market my house? How are you going to get it out there? Because if a buyer can't find it, your house doesn't exist. Putting it on the MLS and praying it sells is not a marketing strategy. Promise you that doesn't work, okay? It has worked in years past because of how crazy the market's been. Our market is shifting. So putting on the market, praying it sells, taking crappy photos, that doesn't work. Okay, not effectively anyway. So making sure that they're putting it in social media platforms, making sure that they're putting it out there on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all of that kind of stuff. And you're probably gonna be there like, yeah, Kyle, I don't need a TikTok realtor. No, you don't. However, putting it out in front of people and agents and people that are looking for houses, that's the big one. So where are the eyes? Where are people looking for houses? Are they looking on Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, a website I've never even heard of? Probably. They all are different and they all serve a purpose. So making sure that your agent and or you are marketing your house effectively and correctly is a crazy, crazy important piece to this key of selling your home successfully. Next on the list is being flexible with showings. You guys, I can't tell you, it's a weird thing, right? I can't tell you how many times I've had sellers be like, no, I cannot show from this time to this time and I'm not changing it. Well, so here's what happens. You put your mind in the place of a buyer, right? Buyer says, okay, well, I can't get into that house. So whether this is the house for me or not, I can't get in, I can't see it, which means I can't actually go spend time with it, right? So that's the key to this one. So having that understanding, being flexible with your showings. Buyers are very finicky. And what I mean by that is they see things and they mark them as signs to actually like, well, I can't get in. That means this house isn't for me. When actually it could be the perfect house for them. They don't know and you don't know because you were so rigid with your schedule. So I'm also not saying bend over backwards for every buyer. If they give you a 5-minute notice and want to come see the house, don't do that. You still live in it. You still are in it. You still own it. You've got kids more than likely. I want to be able to make sure that you are flexible, but not so rigid that you don't change, and not so flexible that you hurt your family. Like if someone's trying to show a house during dinner time and they give you a 5-minute notice, no, don't do that. Okay, don't do that, because that's not going to do you any good. That's going to make it be very stressful for you as a seller. But also be flexible with, like, you know, giving a 2 or 3 hour notice. For most people, unless you've got special conditions, that should be enough time. And that should be enough time for most people looking to look at a house as well. So be flexible when you are going to set up your showings. Next thing on my list is be prepared for negotiations. When you're a seller, you're looking to get the most money you can out of a house. When you're a buyer, you're trying to get the least amount of money to pay for that house, whatever it is. Very few times the buyers come in and say, yep, I'll pay full price, no negotiations, we're good, we're done, and I want to close tomorrow. It does happen. I've had that happen, but it doesn't happen often. So be prepared for negotiations, especially coming into a market where homes start to sit a little bit more on the market. They start to not move as quickly and not getting the multiple offers and multiple things that way. So be prepared for negotiations. Don't be so stuck on your price or so stuck on your terms or whatever that is, because number one, the longer your home sits on the market, the more negotiable, honestly, you should be, whether it be in price or terms or anything that way, because the longer it sits, the more of a stigma it starts to get with buyers as it sits on the market. Next one on the list is working with a knowledgeable real estate agent. You guys, if you've watched any of my videos, you understand what a door opener is. And they can, you know, having somebody that is there that understands how to negotiate, that understands the real estate market, that understands the things that go into selling a house and marketing and everything else that comes with that, right? Whether you've got a team or whether it's them themselves and doing all of these things, but understand that you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing. It's probably my biggest pet peeve is that you as a consumer, as a seller, are paying thousands of dollars for these agents to take care of your property and list it. And all they're doing is putting it on the MLS with shitty photos, excuse my language, with crappy photos, and not doing the work that they need to, right? And just throwing it up there and praying it sells. The unfortunate part is that those homes do start to sell. The longer they sit on the market, they do sell. That's the unfortunate part for me in our industry. I want to be very clear on that though. Like, there are some really good agents in our market. I promise you that. So obviously I hope that you call me and talk to me about it, but there are really good agents in our market. Just being aware of the bad ones are the ones you need to pay attention to. So ask those questions if you are looking to list with somebody, ask those questions, have those conversations, because it is very important. The other thing to that is if you are looking to actually sell the home on your own, your costly mistakes or your lack of knowledge on that one could cost you more than what it would have cost for commission for a real estate agent. Everyone always sees that price tag up front, but they never see what they're getting for that price tag. Again, if you have a bad agent, your list is probably this long, versus a good agent, you've got a laundry list of things that you're going to get that you wouldn't necessarily get with someone else. So something to think about. Okay, final one, and probably my most important one in anytime you go to list a house, right? Pricing it correctly. Too many times, in my opinion, there's 3 ways to price a house. You can overprice it, and then we start playing the lower game. So every week, every day, I'm calling you and we're starting to lower that price, right? Hey, let's make a price change. Hey, let's make a price change. Hey, let's make a price change. That's one way. You're going to end up historically, and I see it time and time again, you are going to start, let's just use $300,000 and it's worth $220. I don't know. But we listed at $300 and we start to lower. Well, typically what ends up happening, we end up pricing it and we go below that $220 mark, right? If that's what I would have said to go in the beginning, we go below that $220 mark. And then you start taking less money for that house when you thought you were going to get, in your mind, that's an $80,000 price cut. But realistically, it should have been priced, maybe at $220 or something that way from the very beginning. And the market will tell you very quickly what it is. So I always tell my sellers too, like, price it where we are, but we adjust, and we adjust quickly. So overpricing, underpricing, where you're leaving a lot of money on the table and doing that way and not making enough there. The other thing too, the market is going to tell us if we are priced right. And I know everybody always talks to me like, what are you talking about, the market? The market, I say it as a living person thing, if you will, but the market is where it's a, where they're going to look at it, the number of showings, the number of activity, the number of things that we have going is going to be very important. So where I like to price it is kind of right in that middle range, if just a little bit below where we need to be. So then that way we get those multiple showings, we get those multiple offers, and potentially get it, instead of selling for $220, we sell it for $230, $240. I had one the other day, it went up $35,000 over asking price. Just happened, actually, just happened. From pricing your home right to marketing it like a pro, these 6 keys can actually help you in selling your home. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are interested in looking at selling your house or what that looks like for you, I would love to have a conversation with you. And no pressure, no signing anything, just have an open conversation and we can talk about what I do, how I do it, why I do it. Always reach out to me. My cell phone number, my personal cell phone number is 785-477-5485. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoy this content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content, so that way you can know when we do have things that hit, because I like to do these videos quite often. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk soon.